It's the time to get down.
It'd be like $3.
$2.5
No,
girls.
right.
Yeah.
Now, this is like you lying, but you have 100 girls that you're sleeping with.
Right.
Or that you stole your... So they're lying. They only admitted to less than 10% of the spill, you all.
Right.
So why would somebody lie? Do you trust them? I BP. And another thing is BP, we told right. Arco,
Yeah.
Alcoa, bankrupt. Do those other things go bankrupt? Well, of course not. For those of you who don't know, just take a look at the TV Guide. We have a show that goes on every day now called The Corporate Effects of Corporations and how corporations operate in our country and worldwide with impunity.
Yes.
And why they get away with these things. We are attempting to educate you. So you, our consumer, our fans, let's put like, people write us. You may not understand, and I may not understand all complicated ways it's being done, but we do know when we being shit.
Wait, what word did
That's
you
the
use?
word. Shit it off.
Wait, this is Wednesday.
All right. I'm just saying, you may not understand how you're getting screwed, but you know you're getting screwed, and you are. All right. So the president is there today, and he picked debating and discussing.
Okay.
All right. Now, another report. I thought this one was interesting to you guys. As it turned, we want to thank you because it's something you wonder why it doesn't show up in the American press. And I hate to be a conspiracy guy, but I'll throw this out at you. Studies are now showing intelligence service, their equivalent of the CIA. It's called the ISI, that the Pakistan intelligence service has direct link.
Wow.
Now, remember, your government has a very much publicized relationship with Pakistan. We have 7,000 drones by report. 7,000 drones in the air over Pakistan. So, do you find it disturbing Pakistani equivalent of the CIA backs the CIA that they back? They are so connected to the Taliban that people report that any other understanding. Okay? Now, what does this tell you? Well, I hate to be the conspiracy person, but isn't it interesting that when you come to find your groups with people that are not totally clear and evident, don't you ever, yet we're fighting the Taliban. But you think we don't know what goes on in the Pakistan or cooperate with them? Really? Okay. So it's interesting because I, as one of the conspiracy people, will remind in the past we found various relationships between people that you hate as opposed to against. Like finding a bank that fails, like Hamas and all these other organizations. And see, when you end up finding that there's some financial ties between organizations and your own government, it gets a little bit confusing as to what we're doing. Say much about it. All I can say, here's the report, and it's from Al Jazeera. Now, why? Certainly, unless you're going to accuse them of being Al Jazeera of being friends to the Taliban, and you may, but if they were friends to them, why they tell you that the Pakistani to the Taliban?
Because it's a planted organization that's doing the covert.
Thank you. Like they said, there's a hunt for Bin Laden. I hope he exists. Okay, like I said, Bin Laden is a concept.
Yeah.
Bin Laden is a concept that allows you to fight forever. All right. But that's Mario being the revolutionary radical. I know they're going to write it because that's what they do. All right. They're pretty much done with recovering all the victims of the flood. Man, you guys, these heavy things in Arkansas, 20 people dead, flash floods, all through Oklahoma too, flash floods. Wow, we just want to say, wow, God bless you all.
Yeah,
but they're starting to really dig them out.
And they're going to find more because, so much water take a long time because, I guess the radius of the water flow that hit them extended for miles. So they're probably going to discover maybe more bodies. And we hope that's not the case.
All right. Well, again, we're keeping you up with the international. Now, for some of you, you've been hearing about the ethnic rioting in Kyrgyzstan. Am I saying it's in Kyrgyzstan? Kyrgyz Stan. And I bring it up because right now you've got this morning's estimates over 150,000 people dead.
Yeah.
And rioting.
Yeah.
In now, all these are these are that were previously part of the Soviet Union,
right? And
there's a lot of ethnic changes. There's a lot of the Uzbeks are different tribes. This almost goes back to the early. It's a whole history of this region. And again, tribes very much like our watchers are used to in Africa, but they have not forgotten their history. And so Kyrgyzstan is right next to Uzbekistan.
Right.
And they have a long history of these fighting each other. And now without the Soviet Union standing as the armed hand to keep everything quiet, well, guess what? They're back to fighting. And things are terrible. Ethnic rioting, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but well over 100,000 people fled, besides the death.
So would you have that since the breakup that they have more freedom to demonstrate and choose the direction they want to be in, worse position than before the Soviet Union broke up?
Boy, that's the debate. It's almost like what you would say in Iran. Dictators inherently keep the peace to make sure that the money flows, okay? So when the Soviet Union would not, the reason why you never heard of these places is they weren't allowed to voice anything, okay? Right. Again, that, truth crushed to the earth shall rise again. Now, the people have never forgotten who. So I don't know, they probably had it better before financially, too, economically also. But again, we want you to be aware. I know it's not the hottest topic to people here, but remember, we keep our people aware, advised of things going in the world. We believe in developing and maintaining an international perspective, especially as it relates to news. And so that was one of the ones. Yeah. All right. We also reported on a week or so about the aid convoy in Gaza that was bringing aid to Gaza that was attacked by the Israelis. 10 folks dead. Now that the UN is insisting on a probe. And the U.S. has been trying to really work against this. But, people are calling for an investigation into exactly what happened. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Right. So that's one thing. All right. So I think that's about all the bad. I want to get the bad news out the way. That was a lot of the bad news, Vic. That was most of the bad news. I'm just trying to say.
That's what I was about to say.
Wait. I got one more.
Wait a minute. You tell me when you bring good news.
I got about to bring the good news.
All right.
They have a new condom that's infused with Viagra.
See.
You put the condom on, if you get it on a noodle, and then it becomes from a noodle to a doodle.
Okay. That's the new. That's the inspiration.
That's the new one. All right, here's one to Leslie A. Falu, our good friend in New York who's Boricua. Excuse me. Hey, did you guys know that the U.S. Army National Guard is deployed in Puerto Rico because they have this huge crime wave? Just like Mexico, they have a huge drug-dealing crime wave going on right now in Puerto Rico.
Right.
So bad they've had to call out the National Guard. You don't hear about this in American news, do you? You don't hear, but see, Leslie, we have many Boricua, Puerto Rican friends and family, and they tell us that it's really bad right now. They've got 1,000 guardsmen activated across the island. Puerto Rico had its third worst year on record, with almost 900 people killed.
Wow.
And drug-related deaths. Now, I'll give you an example. New York City had only 466 drug-related deaths. But Puerto Rico had 894 drug-related deaths in Puerto Rico. Now, I went to Puerto Rico a few years ago, and by the way, I love Puerto Rico. Beautiful people. I was constantly amazed by looking at people at the dinner tables, Vic.
Right.
Because you had such a rainbow of folks, and all of them speaking Spanish, from people who are black as the blackest to the blonde and blue-eyed, all speaking Spanish, all together in groups. So Puerto Rico is such an interesting place.
Okay.
I must admit, I still like the Mexican food better. Don't get mad at me. I'm sorry. I just like the Mexican food better, but the black beans is happening. But they have a big thing in Puerto Rico. We really care for the Puerto Rican, the Boricuas.
Okay.
And we want to let them know that we support them in this whole issue with the drugs. And to hear about this. This is really terrible. I drove around that island, Vic. I took off in the morning in a rental car and essentially spent the day driving around the whole island.